When we look at the e-commerce space, there is no question that this industry will be growing for the next decade. But just like almost every other company, Shopify has gotten destroyed over the past year. Going from a large cap company to a medium-sized company, this leads many people to feeling confused about why the significant price drop. And so in this video, I'm going to share my thoughts about Shopify, what I like, don't like, as well as where I see this company going over the long term. But I don't want to waste your time, so let's go ahead and dive right in. Shopify is an e-commerce platform that helps people make it easy to start, run, and grow their own business. The company is building a global commerce operating system along with a growing set of tools and capabilities that enable merchants of all sizes to sell to anyone, anywhere. But this business isn't just for people just starting their own business. This company also provides products for the big companies. And when I say big, I'm not talking about $1 to $2 billion companies. Here are a few of the top businesses that are run by Shopify. Hyatt Hotels, which has a current market cap of $9 billion. Whole Foods, which is powered by Amazon, so it's easily valued over $10 billion. Kraft Heinz, valuing at over $40 billion, and Tesla, which is valued at about $600 billion. So no matter if you are just starting a business or you already have an established business, Shopify has turned out to be a great option. But that doesn't necessarily mean the company is a good buy. I mean, if you bought almost any company in January, you are probably down significantly. So let's look at what is going on for this company and really determine whether or not it's actually a buy right now. So for me, when I'm assessing whether or not a company is a buy, I cannot let a single quarterly report be the reason for me to buy or sell that stock. It can influence my decision, but it cannot be the sole reason. When we look at Shopify's earnings these past couple of quarters, they have not reported great numbers. In fact, they report double misses where their revenue and EPS missed analyst expectations. But does that mean the company should fall 80% year to date? I wouldn't think so unless the company was extremely overvalued, and I will talk more about this later. When we think about Shopify's TAM, or total addressable market, it is solid, but I believe that it will be massive over time. I mean, think about the kinds of customers that Shopify has right now and where they will be 5 years from now. Many of these smaller businesses, assuming that they grow, will need to move up in their plans, and that just means more revenue for Shopify. So not only is the TAM going to grow, but I believe that Shopify will actually take more market share as they continue to expand. And the reason for this is because the company is a beast when it comes to innovation. Consider this: Shopify has made their business to cover almost every single part of a starting and growing business. They have innovated when it comes to the multiple channels they have now, so businesses can go wherever the consumer is going. They've also innovated with different ways to help businesses when it comes to payments and capital. Plus, they've created products for any business owner, no matter the kind of business that they have. And lastly, they have innovated when it comes to their shipping and delivery. They have created what is called the Shopify Fulfillment Network, and I believe that this will make way for many more businesses, including the more established businesses, to want to use Shopify. It starts with Flexport, where it's all about getting the inventory to the market. Then Deliverr, who they just acquired in July, is focused on the distribution and actually fulfilling the orders. And this leads to Shop Promise, which guarantees specific delivery times for customers of these businesses that Shopify works with. So not only does Shopify continue to innovate and acquire incredible products, but their innovation has allowed them to be a part of almost every aspect of a business, which makes it convenient for businesses to go with Shopify. And this is where I want to talk about their recurring revenue stream. Shopify has a variety of products, from $9 for Lite to the $2,000 for Shopify Plus. The beautiful thing that I love about this business model is that Shopify helps these smaller businesses so that as they grow, so will the package, which leads to greater revenues for Shopify. And once these businesses get to the top level, their product is so sticky that Shopify can charge higher premiums. Now, Shop hasn't had the greatest year when it comes to revenue growth, as last quarter they only grew 16% year over year. But how many companies are actually maintaining their revenue guidance? There aren't many. So even though I understand cutting the valuation of companies like Shopify, we also need to remember that the kind of economy we are in, it's not going to last. I mean, when we look at what analysts project for the year, they are still expected to grow almost 25% year over year. That is still solid growth for them. With that said, I think what scared a lot of analysts out of this one is their lack of net income for the year. Now, this was something to be expected not only because we are in a recessionary environment, but the management team said that they were going to invest a lot of money into their Shopify point of sale, which will help them in their offline commerce in the US, as well as their Shopify fulfillment network, which they plan to invest over $1 billion for the next few years. However, when we look at the balance sheet, they had $6.9 billion at quarter end. But because of the Deliverr acquisition for for $2.1 billion, they used another $1.7 billion in cash for the deal. They also have over $10 billion in assets and just over $1 billion in liabilities. So the company is in a great position financially. Okay, now let's talk about price action. Shopify hit an all-time low of $23.63 on October 13th. But based off of what we have seen in the macro economy, there may be a new low in sight. And even though they're just off their lows, the company is only valued at about $35 billion in comparison to the over $200 billion market cap we saw in November of 2021. Now, the argument for many people is that stocks were excessively overvalued in November, and this probably was the case for most companies, and I could definitely make the argument for Shopify being one of those companies. However, what about now? Is Shopify still overvalued or even fairly valued with a $35 billion market cap? The problem for many people evaluating this company is that they try to use today's numbers to justify the company's valuation. And as we have seen with the top companies of the world, if you tried to value them 10 years ago like you do now, you probably wouldn't have bought these companies and would have missed out on tremendous opportunities. Now, if you want to know how I evaluate companies, especially ones with strong growth, join us on the Patreon. Doing this kind of valuation has allowed me to double my money on several different companies. There are several different tiers, so you can choose what suits you best. And for the entry level, the tips I share on saving will easily add up to what you would pay for a monthly subscription. That means you will basically get my stock exclusive content for free. So if you're interested, I'll leave a link in the pinned comment. When I look at the e-commerce industry over the next decade, there is no question that this will be much larger than where it is right now. So the question becomes, do I believe Shopify will be able to keep up with the growth rate of the sector? And when I consider all the different companies that Shopify is working with and the growth rates that those companies have, plus the fact that they have a very sticky product where companies will not want to leave the platform unless something significantly better comes in, I don't see how Shopify won't keep up with the e-commerce industry. When I look at the company over the next 3 to 5 years, I'm seeing a company whose innovation in order to become an end-to-end business is like no other. And that is why I'm expecting Shopify to have a valuation much higher from now. Plus, the likelihood Shopify will be lower than their current market cap is, in my mind, extremely low. They have too many great businesses to where even if some of the smaller businesses fail, the larger companies will keep them afloat. When it comes to Shopify, the reality is that we don't know how long this recessionary environment will last. And there's definitely a possibility that the company could trend even more down if we're looking over the next 6 to 12 month span. But what about 5 years from now? Or even 10 years from now? What do you think is the growth opportunity not only for Shopify, but the entire e-commerce space? It's massive. Plus, the kind of business that they're running allows them to grow EPS to new heights while also maintaining incredible growth. And these products, in my opinion, will be important in the future. And not because I'm a Shopify bull, but because when you consider the e-commerce space, how many businesses want a company who can give them everything that they need from the start? Now, personally, I'm holding this one for the long term, and here's why. When we imagine the company in 5 to 10 years, they will be well established while still having tremendous growth, and their current businesses that they are working with will continue to use the sticky product for a long time. Secondly, when we think about Shopify's retail operating system, it takes time for people to really buy in. But once people see that their product is really good and they are growing their businesses because of Shopify, these businesses will need to upgrade their packages. And even now, Shopify continues to innovate to where they are bringing out new products and services which will impact the company in the years to come. When we think about how the big tech companies came to be as big as they are, they did not just beat every quarter and act like it was a smooth ride. It was a grind for them. And I think we need to view Shopify in the same way. They are in an industry that will continue to grow beyond this decade, but it is going to be a roller coaster to get to where they need to be. So over this past week, I started a position in Shopify, and I will continue to add if they're under $40. When I think about the end-to-end business model and the fact that you can use their products no matter if you are a small or large business, plus the company is still able to generate 20% revenue growth in a recession with a huge growth potential in front of them, to me, it's a no-brainer to make this one part of my portfolio. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, smash that like button down below. That helps this channel in a massive way. Also, I would love to hear your thoughts on Shopify, so let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. That way you're notified when new content comes out. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one.